pound. How did ancient humans survive predators? It's the middle of the night and you open your eyes. There's no ceiling above you, only stars. No wall at your back, no door to lock, nothing between your skin and the open dark except a fire that's burning lower than you'd like. Your feet are bare. You have no weapon you didn't make with your own hands. And out past the edge of the light, close enough that you feel it more than hear it, something is standing very still, deciding whether you're worth the effort. This was an ordinary night for almost everyone who lived before about 10,000 years ago. No hospital if those claws found you. No fence. You weren't standing at the top of the food chain. You were on the menu, somewhere between antelope and, why not, it's already asleep. And yet here we are. 8 billion of us. So how did a slow, soft, basically naked animal survive hundreds of thousands of years in a world built to eat it? That's the question today. And the honest answer isn't one clever trick, it's a whole stack of them, piled up over an almost unimaginable stretch of time. Let's go all the way back. First, drop the fantasy. Ancient humans weren't rugged warriors wrestling lions for fun. Go back to early Homo and you get small bodies, brains still growing, no fire yet, no complex tools, no language, no coordinated hunt. In pure biology terms, that's a prey animal, full stop. And the predators weren't the ones you picture on a safari. They were worse. A prehistoric hyena, Pachycrocuta, close to a lion in size, with a bite that could crack open elephant bone. Smilodon, the saber-tooth, canines running toward 28 centimeters, cave bears that towered when they reared up, crocodiles that made today's look small, and in New Zealand, a bird, Haast's eagle, big enough to hunt something roughly our size out of the sky. Now, put that soft primate out in the open, near water, at dusk, which is exactly where every predator waits, because every predator worked out the same thing: prey has to drink. So the one place early humans had to visit every single day was also the ambush. They weren't unlucky, they were living inside the trap. So why aren't we just a fossil? Not one reason, 6 things, stacked. The first one barely sounds like a strategy. Don't be alone. Picture a saber-tooth scanning the grassland at dusk. One human at the water's edge is an easy meal. 25 humans, some, already shouting and grabbing rocks, is a problem. Ecologists call the math behind this the dilution effect, and it's real. You don't outrun the cat. You don't out-muscle it. You just refuse to be the one unlucky body out of 25. Standing in a crowd bends the odds in your favor without you doing anything brave at all. But a group does more than shrink the odds. It fights back. We can't rewind the Pleistocene, so we look at chimpanzees instead, and chimps mob a threat together, screaming, throwing, closing in as one mass. Early human bands almost certainly did the same. And it works because of something people rarely appreciate about big predators. They can't afford to fight. A hunter that gets hurt can't hunt, and a hunter that can't hunt starves. So most large carnivores are deeply risk-averse. Turn a clean kill into a real brawl, and they leave. Nobody planned this in a meeting. The bands that held together survived and passed it on. The ones that scattered mostly didn't. Then comes the thing that stopped being a strategy and became a turning point. Fire. You've heard it mattered 100 times. So sit with how much. Almost every large land predator carries a deep, unlearned fear of flame, because in their world, fire only ever came from lightning and eruptions, forces they couldn't fight or outrun. That dread is ancient and wired in. So a fire isn't just warmth. It's a line most of them won't cross. And it destroys the predator's best tool at the same time. A hunting cat depends on darkness to close the gap unseen. Fire erases the darkness. Now the thing sneaking up is the thing lit up, visible from far off while everyone at the fire watches it come. Night, which had been the deadliest window because that's when the big hunters move, suddenly became survivable. People slept in shifts, someone always tending the flame, someone always facing the dark. And fire kept giving, Smoke drove off disease-carrying insects. Cooking killed the parasites in food. Heat hardened a spear point. Warmth opened up cold country predators used to own. Before fire, we were something the world did things to. After fire, we started doing things to the world. Sleep deserves its own moment, because it's the quietest weakness we have. A third of every life spent, switched off, blind, unable to run or fight. For an animal with no walls, that's almost absurd. Before fire was dependable, the answer was height. Get off the ground. Chimps still build a fresh nest in the branches every night, out of reach of anything hunting on all fours, and the shoulders and arms of early Homo suggest we kept serious climbing ability long after our feet committed to walking. Evolution doesn't keep paying for equipment nobody's using. A tree isn't a fortress. Leopards climb, and we've actually found hominid bones stashed in old tree kill sites, where a leopard dragged its meal up to eat in peace. But a tree deletes lions, hyenas, and wolves from your list. It shrinks the threat from everything down to the one climber, and that trade is worth taking. Caves came next, and they're the perfect lesson in how ancient survival was never free. One doorway to guard, a roof against the weather. Ideal. Except cave bears, cave hyenas, and cave lions are all named that for a reason. They den in exactly the same real estate. Claiming a cave often meant evicting or being evicted by a tenant with teeth. The dirt in these sites shows humans and predators trading off the same shelter for thousands of years, the most stressful timeshare imaginable. Now the thing that made us truly different, and it isn't in the muscles, it's language. Real, symbolic, open-ended language, the kind that lets you talk about something that isn't in front of you. Without it, danger has to be met in person, and meeting a leopard in person is usually a short story with a bad ending. Every hard-won lesson dies with the one who learned it. With language, the lesson outlives the person. You describe the tracks, you warn your band, you warn the band over the ridge. You warn children who grow up and warn their own children. Knowledge stops evaporating and starts stacking. Over generations, a group can understand its predators far better than any single member ever could firsthand, because it's pooling thousands of near misses into one shared memory. Predators had teeth and speed. Those don't compound, knowledge does. Give it enough time, and that stops being a fair fight. Eventually, we crossed a line and stopped only defending. We reached out. The oldest wooden spears we found, from Schneining in Germany, are around 400,000 years old, and they aren't whittled sticks. They're balanced toward the front to fly straight, shaped for the hand and the throw, cut from wood chosen for the job. Someone understood the physics of a thrown object without a single word for physics. And the spear didn't just add damage, it rewrote the whole exchange. Before, a weapon with reach, hurting a predator meant standing inside its reach, and inside its reach, you usually lose. A thrown spear lets you open a wound from 30 or 40 meters, drive an animal off before it touches you, and box it in so that whichever way it turns, another point is waiting. And predators learn. A lion that catches a spear in the flank doesn't need a second lesson to decide this prey isn't worth it. Populations that kept meeting armed human bands slowly evolved to avoid them. We see the same reversal today wherever wildlife lives beside people. The fear changed direction. And then there's the body itself, hiding its best weapon. Sprint against anything and we lose. A lion pushes past 60 kilometers an hour. Our best sprinter manages maybe 45 for a few seconds before folding. But change the game from speed to distance and the whole thing flips. Ask that lion to keep a steady pace through the heat of the day for 4 hours, and it can't. It cooks from the inside. Humans are among the very few mammals built for persistence, hunting, wearing prey down over long distances in the heat. We sweat across almost the whole body. Most animals cool by panting, which forces them to stop moving. We cool and run at the same time. Add an upright stride that sips energy at a moderate pace, and you get a creature that can outlast almost anything faster than it. Against a predator, that's a real escape most prey never had. Run, keep running, and let the thing chasing you overheat first. There's one idea that pulls all of this together. Ecologists call it the landscape of fear. Prey don't only react when a predator appears, they carry a running map of where danger lives and bend their whole lives around it, avoiding certain valleys, certain waterholes, certain hours. Ancient humans did the same, but they did something no other prey could. They built the map together and handed it down. This valley is safe in summer, but not once the bears come down in winter. This trail has fresh leopard sign, go the long way. You can read it in where people chose to live. High ground, open sight lines. Water within reach, but never standing exposed at the edge. None of that is accident. It's caution, accumulated. So the honest answer is that there's no single answer. Grouping, fire, high sleeping sites, language, spears, endurance, shared maps, none of them saved us alone. They saved us because they stacked, each one covering the gap the others left open, all of it grinding forward while the climate shifted underneath. Pull out one layer and the whole thing collapses. We survived as a system, not as a trick. Which brings us to the uncomfortable ending. The moment we stopped merely surviving and started dominating, the story turned inside out. The saber-tooth, gone. The cave bear, the cave lion, the dire wolf, Pachycrocuta, with its bone-splitting jaws, gone. Across nearly every continent, within a few thousand years of modern humans arriving, the giants collapsed. Climate played a part, but we were the one variable that kept showing up in every region right before the fall. Animals that had outlasted ice ages couldn't outlast us. Not because we were bigger or faster, we plainly weren't, but because we carried fire and spears and language and a shared memory that learned faster than evolution could answer. And the strangest part is that the fear never really left. We built walls, locks, streetlights, whole cities of safety, and still the animal underneath flinches at a shape in the dark, sleeps lighter when it's alone, and breathes easier in a crowd. We changed the tools completely. The old prey instinct is still running quietly in the wiring.